Once upon a time, there were two best friends. One of them had a computer and the other one sucked.
Alright everybody, welcome back to Actually Villains Commentary, aka the first episode. We are here casting one of Q's games. We tried it before, it's a secret session.
So I will be your hype caster, Tokyo, and this is my analysis and color commentary. Miguel, we're taking a look here. Chucklish Pigs Q, our good friend, is playing a game on the Dire team. This is a BiasCast. That's right. Radiant sucks.
Radiant is... Let me analyze for you what it means to be Radiant. It means to be trash and garbage because Radiant does actually statistically have an advantage with certain heroes. And the only two heroes that have a negative win rate are right around 49% anyway.
Alrighty. So we got Radiant coming up with Roke. I'm going to say Roke.
Yeah.
Got the Phoenix pick and the first pick Bounty Hunter by our very own Chucklish Pigs on the Dire team.
So from what we've been seeing Q play, we know he's going to go in the off lane, whether that's as a core, as the off laner, or as a roaming support, as an aggressive support. This Phoenix could go either way. He could go off lane. He could go mid. He could go support.
I would say it's also a 4 or a 3 Phoenix.
I would say
we got another position 5 Crystal Maiden. Now that is a beautiful pick by the Dire team, followed up by the trashiest, smelliest pick, Dragon Knight, by the Radiant. Now, what do you think? Do you think that's a mid Dragon Knight, or are we going to see something more like an off lane or a safe lane?
I think we're actually probably going to see a safe lane Dragon Knight here. Mm-hmm. I actually imagine that Phoenix is probably going to go in mid lane depending on what their last two positions are going. Just based on... that's a Slardar. I actually think that's a mid Slardar. The only reason... So the reason I'm thinking that the Dragon Knight is in the safe lane is because his armor gain is going to be really, really beneficial against the Bounty Hunter. Never mind. That is a 3 Dragon Knight.
Yep, I'm going to say that's a 3 Dragon Knight, a mid Wind Ranger, along with a safe lane Luna. You never know. At pubs this level, it's impossible to tell. We got our friend Ray representing Team Joke over here.
Which is a great description for the Radiant team.
Playing his very signature Witch Doctor, which is
as we all know, it's his highest win rate hero with 8%.
Now, mid please over here on the Dire team, getting into their head a little bit, making them think that they have an advantage by taking a little bit of a gold disadvantage. It's a classic mid strat. I've seen it in 100,000 games.
You've done it.
Never works.
Which is why you.
But it's a strat that exists nonetheless.
So it looks like we are looking at a position 5 Crystal Maiden laning with that Terrorblade. I think we're looking at a Bounty Hunter Slark off lane, and then we have a Slardar, sorry. Very classic Storm Spirit mid, which from, of course, mid please, I would imagine he's playing mid.
Now, that is a 6 set.
That is dope.
I've never seen one. I'm going to go ahead and do a shout out to that, our boy Ray on the Witch Doctor.
And then Q with his dope Bounty Hunter set.
Now we're about to get into the game here, so let's go ahead and warm this up. I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to let the...
We're just going to do Hero Chase.
No,
camera.
I'll do the directed camera this one time. So it's looking like the lanes are going as we predicted. Safe lane Witch Doctor and Luna.
Okay.
Up against the off lane Slardar and Bounty Hunter. Go ahead and pull up some stats here. Not that anything's happened yet, but we're going to need those in a minute.
So just based entirely on their team makeup, with a Storm Spirit and Terrorblade, just based on draft, I would say that Dire wins. This isn't actually a like the bias thing, but seeing as how T-Blade, Storm Spirit definitely outcarries Luna by herself. Who knows? The Wind Ranger could get totally shit on mid.
I'm going to give some props to the Radiant team here. They have a pretty sick draft. I actually really like this draft.
I really like their offlane. I really like that the Dragon Knight Phoenix offlane.
All right, so our mid please went ahead and said that this is his second game in Dota 2.
And we all know that's not true.
Big doubt.
Big doubt.
What
Press
do you
X
mean?
to doubt.
X to doubt, F to pay respects, Don't get it mixed. Don't get it twisted.
Is Storm an easy?
Don't go to a funeral and doubt them. Please, it's really insensitive.
Or do it. Well, so it looks like... Well, so I imagine Storm is either an obvious Smurf, or this is actually his second game. However, he is tilting that presumably mid-Wind Ranger.
It's a classic head strat. We're going to see how this plays out for him. Taking a look at the lanes here, as it's all about to go down. White playing the Dragon Knight, ready to hit some creeps. Still doubt coming out from the Wind Ranger.
All right, it looks like the Slardar took his Bash from the Deep first, I imagine. Oh, and it looks like Luna took her... I shouldn't have eaten so much pizza.
I am going to swap this to
Yeah,
Hero
I think
Chase
the Hero Chase.
at this
So
point.
it looks like... well, Phoenix took their Fire Spirits, it looks like. It does look like that they took the Bash from the Deep first for the Slardar. It looks like Luna took her Moonglaves first for that little bit of extra harass, as well as potential last hit.
So taking a look here, now at the top lane, we see that blows have already started. Both teams missing some health. It looks like the Dire team might be getting some slight advantage as far as throwing out some of those hits go. We got Dragon Knight missing a little health, Phoenix missing a little health, and we already have 3 last hits and 3 denies coming out from the Terrorblade. Moving down to mid lane, we see that our Storm Spirit is actually already obtaining an advantage. 7 last hits, 3 denies over the Wind Rangers 4 and 1.
And it looks like the Storm Spirit was already pretty close to his first null talisman within the first 2 minutes, and then it looks like, unless they're going to buy the bottle first for that extra little bit of mana regen.
Looking down here at this lane, it seems that things might be swinging a little bit in Dire's possession as well. You see that the Slardar is second in last hits with a single deny to his name, but still trumping the Luna with her 5-0. Taking a look over here at the top lane, I see that a little bit of health is going missing. So far, a very tame game, I gotta say. I have no idea where the Crystal Maiden is.
It looks like they probably went back to base, maybe went to go back to block the lane creeps.
Now, Wind Ranger over here already hit level 3, so she's kind of keeping up in levels at the very least. 5 and 2 to the 11 and 6 on the Storm Spirit. Absolutely trashing her in this lane.
It does look like that Wind Ranger is getting some good harass. However, it looks like got some good harass. Forced Storm Spirit back a little bit and to use one of his static remnants to kind of chase her off.
Storm Spirit already has his bottle queued up, ready to go. It looks like there's a haste rune at the top. We missed the first blood. Pulled out by the Terrorblade onto the Phoenix. Now we're looking, she's going further with the Crystal Maiden dropping a stun down onto the Dragon Knight. Very low on mana. He's going to have to make a hasty retreat from that.
That first level Dragon's Blood, I assume that they took, is going to pay dividends, provided he doesn't get...
We're seeing Chucklish Pig take some of the harass here. He goes invisible to keep himself safe. There is a nice Slithering Crush coming out from the Slardar just to ensure that everything goes properly. Back up at the top lane, which is over here, it looks like the Phoenix is taking even more harass here. She drops spells, but will die to the Crystal Maiden.
Now it's a nice little bit of farm going to the Crystal Maiden. Might be useful later for an early BKB for Hurl.
Here we go. We got the Bounty Hunter in a little bit of trouble. It doesn't look like the Radiant team has any detection, so he's going to slip away unharmed. Looking over at the top lane once again, because there is a lot of action happening up here. We got the Terrorblade. He's just farming up some of the jungle right now. The Crystal Maiden helping him out, getting a little bit of that very key experience. Down here in the lane, we see that the Bounty Hunter is taking just a little bit more, and the Phoenix has already fucking left.
It looks like they disconnected and didn't leave. So let's take the time to actually go through. Like, from just looking at the last hit, that Storm Spirit is absolutely shitting on that Wind Ranger.
Absolutely.
20 to 12 CS versus 7 to 12. 7 to 2 rather. Like, they've already got their bottle. Looks like they're gonna have the recipe coming out for their null talisman. And it looks like the Wind Ranger muted the storm.
Yes. Definitely, absolutely, and as she rightfully should, he is trashing on her in this lane. Looking at her, she still hasn't actually gotten any items. It's actually entirely possible that she does have some, and they're over here on the courier, which I'm just going to have to swap to a free camera really quick. And we'll take a look at the courier here. Nope, still nothing coming out for that.
And it looks like Terrorblade has resumed the game, and Phoenix is back. Yeah, and over there is a regen rune over in top.
Now, that is going to be absolutely perfect for Storm. Definitely the best rune for him. You could make an argument for the Arcane rune.
I would say early game regeneration rune is easily the best, but I would say later game Arcane is probably going to have a bit more bang for his buck.
Once again, just demolishing her. We also see the Slardar down here. 23-2, keeping up with the last hits of the Storm Spirit.
Absolutely crushing the Luna right now with their 16-1, and not far behind is the Terrorblade with a 12-5.
Now, that is just a Null Talisman coming out for the Wind Ranger up here at the top shrine. She does not yet have her bottle. She is level 5, so she's going to start becoming a threat to this Storm Spirit, who is also level 5, despite 15 denies. The Wind Ranger is really doing a pretty
just
decent
hit their
job.
6, and looks like they have Ball Lightning now.
He's got the regeneration rune. We'll see if he's about to go in on this. It doesn't appear so. I'm keeping a heavy eye also on top lane. It looks like there's a bit of a skirmish going down here. The Witch Doctor down in the bottom lane gets a Slithering Crush and a Bash coming out from the Slardar.
And is
one hit away. Are they going to be able to take him out?
Is there a Shuriken Toss coming? No,
it is a perfect
Lucent Beam.
Paralyzing Clask. Saves his life, absolutely.
And there we have
Slardar falling low.
Looks like we have a rotation from the Wind Ranger.
But they don't have any detection.
The detection's there.
There goes
Chucklish Pigs running away.
Is he going to make it out?
It looks like he is dodging them. He is way out of range of that detection. Nice.
We'll see if the Wind Ranger is smart enough to throw down a nuke in his direction.
And it looks like they're going back to mid.
Now, up here at top, I see that the Phoenix is losing a lot of health. Looks like they're just throwing out nukes in the back line. The Crystal Maiden is on the hunt for him.
Looking to set up a gank. They're Crystal Nova.
The Terrorblade very low at the time. Crystal Maiden not able to secure the kill onto the Phoenix.
But laying down some decent harass on the Dragon Knight, which is going to stop mattering soon with all that Dragon's Blood.
You know, it looked like the Terrorblade actually tried to pop a salve, and it was canceled possibly by some of the DOT from the Phoenix. Those Icarus Dive, Fire Spirits build, that's a lot of damage. It adds up very quickly.
Oh, this looks like it might be a gank on the Crystal Maiden here. That's a nice route there.
They're coming up. They've got the DOTs
Meta is
out,
up.
And the Crystal Maiden falls.
Oh, and there's the Icarus Dive.
It's a wonderful secure. Make sure that he's safe. He gets out without any trouble. Up, looks like the Storm is actually thinking, nope.
Oh.
He's just utilizing the most of his regeneration rune that he can,
correct.
making sure that his buffs are all in order. Down here on the bottom lane, we do see the Bounty Hunter lacking some HP. However, the Radiant try and make a move
Q
on it?
does have his Tranquil Boots already, so when he goes invis, he is going to have that health regen kicking in.
That is an important part of this. Now, up here at the top lane, we see that the Dragon Knight dropping a little harass down onto the Terrorblade is without his support right now. Now, the Storm Spirit bottles up an Invis rune. Looks like he's going for the gank. Down here onto the bottom lane.
That is 4 bottom for this rotation with just that Terrorblade just solo laning up there.
Now, they do have sentries down here in the Radiant lane looking out for the Bounty Hunter. This Invis Storm Spirit is going to be caught out by those, and they are going to make a hasty retreat underneath the tower. The Crystal Maiden made the full rotation. That is just unfortunate.
And it looks like that Terrorblade without that harassment and support from the Crystal Maiden is just going to the jungle to kind of keep up in level without taking too much damage.
Now, down here, the Storm Spirit, he still wants to go in on something. The Paralyzing Cast comes out onto the Slardar and the Lucent Beam. Some damage is being done, but the Storm Spirit, he jumps in. He's got him with the Static Remnant, and one more takes him down. There's TPs coming
like
in
there
from the
was a
Phoenix,
rotation.
and the Luna is taking so much damage. The Phoenix with an Icarus dive to try and escape in the Wind
Power
Ranger
shot,
with the rotation.
not enough mana for that Ball Lightning.
Dragon Knight down there is getting hit up by the Slardar. It looks like nothing else is going to happen here. The Wind Ranger is making a chase with the Focus Fire onto the Slardar.
Here comes
and
the Sunray.
Is it going to take him down?
I think that's a dead Slardar. Oh, no. Looks
no,
like just
he
surviving.
escapes with a sliver of health.
And all the while, that Terrorblade is just free-farming.
Goes for the TP. We do have a little bit of harass coming out onto the Bounty Hunter, but he is going to make it away just fine. They
Full
don't
stick
have
charges.
the detection to take him out. And the Terrorblade, he sits at top lane just farming away. Taking a look, he's now leading in last hits. He's beating the Storm Spirit. Looking at net worth here, the Storm Spirit is still first in the lead.
But all three of Dire's cores are ahead right now.
Yep, this is looking like a clear and cut lead for the Dire team with 4K gold advantage.
Well, and even looking at just the supports for Dire, they're not that far behind the mid.
They're not. That Crystal Maid in position 5 is only 200 gold. Less than that even behind the mid on the Radiant team. This is going to be a harsh game for Radiant. Taking a look back here now at the bottom lane, it looks like some more might break out.
Dragon Knight does have level 6. That dragon form is online.
And that's always something that you got to worry about. It looks like we're just seeing some harass coming out from the Bounty Hunter, making sure that he's losing a little bit of gold. Looking at that Janata right there, level 3, a lot of damage, a lot of gold loss.
With a good value point.
Over here in the top lane, it looks like Storm Spirit went for a gank.
Here comes the Eclipse.
The Eclipse comes out,
Running
saving
away.
the Luna. Eats it Tango. Gonna make it out without much problem.
And it looks like they're very close to their powered treads. It looks like they're just a little bit of gold behind from getting that Belt of Strength.
We just missed a kill down here in the bottom lane. It looks like the Dragon Knight died once more to the Slardar. That is a level 6 Bounty Hunter. I do wonder if the track
is
got put out.
online.
Looking over here at the top lane, we do see this Phoenix playing with fire here. Two heroes to one. Not in a position where he can fight, but they don't care. He is
taking this farm and experience away.
He doesn't care. He's just going for the hits. What
that's some great denial of that experience and gold from that Terrorblade, who needs that farm.
He needs it. I mean, that was a ballsy play, if I do say so myself. But if it if it works out for you, who are you to judge?
Yeah. Well, it looks like that Slardar does have his Corrosive Haze up, and it is currently on the Witch Doctor, as well as tracking the Witch Doctor. So it looks like Dire does have... Oh, and on everybody in that bottom lane, it looks like they do have that vision, that detection there.
Now, looking up here in the top lane, it does look like they might be trying to set something up of a gank here onto the Dire team. Nobody comes, nobody falls for it, so they're going to go ahead and swap up this lane configuration. We've got the mid tower almost falling to the Storm Spirit. Phoenix is going to rotate in, get that free golden experience, pull them right off that tower.
Storm with that Invis rune.
An invisibility rune popping out. We see that he is just about to pick up the rest of his Oblivion Staff. That is going to be phenomenal. Down here in the bottom lane, nothing is happening because the Phoenix is getting gone on by the Storm Spirit. He's
with the Ball Lightning, and he's got him. That's a great kill.
He's got to get out of there before that Luna gets in there, though. He's completely out of mana.
But Eclipse still down.
Mana, yeah, he's got some bottle charges, which isn't too bad. Down here, we see the Witch Doctor doing his best to hold his own against the two off-lane heroes, looking at the Slardar and the Bounty Hunter. They are going to deny up the middle tower for the Radiant. And it looks like Terrorblade is getting gone on, but he does the Sunder.
Oh, but he does have meta up. He does not have... It doesn't look like... Nope.
He didn't pick up any points into Reflection. That could have been a kill for him there. But it doesn't matter. He's going to use this. He's going to push the tower, get the extra last hits, the extra gold, the extra experience, and really force some rotations out of this.
And it does look like Terrorblade went for that early farming build so they could kind of stay caught up with everyone. Already see he's working on his Manta style. He already has his Yasha.
Down here in the bottom lane, it looks like a fight is ready to break out. The Storm Spirit nearby, awaiting a jump. They know he's there,
though. They pinged him out.
They ping him out. They saw just an inkling of him there in the trees. But it doesn't matter. He finds
Track
his
goes
Phoenix
out.
into the trees.
Oh, Icarus died.
There goes
Good
the
escape.
shackle and a beautiful paralyzing cast. The bounce is coming
And
out.
comes out.
The Phoenix ult popped. Everybody's hitting it. They're trying to take it down before he dies, and they
Man,
manage
that's a
to
great
get it.
kill
But the
from
bounty
the
hunter, the
Sparta
tower
bounty
is
hunter.
hitting him. He
Oh.
goes invisible, but it's just too late. The Storm Spirit is going back in. He's found the
He's
Witch
going
Doctor.
in.
The Luna with the Eclipse.
Eclipse comes out.
It's a nice rotation, but are they going to
Moonblade's
find
bouncing.
anybody? It's not enough. Oh, it's not enough.
Oh, there's the Lucent Beam. That could be enough. That was a great slithering crush.
It's a great slithering crush, but they cannot underestimate this armor melt. He is,
he's
however,
gone.
going to fall completely unnecessary, in my opinion. But what are you
Could have
gonna do?
absolutely escaped. Great that he got the Storm Spirit out there, but he is super farmed.
He came out pretty close to killing this Wind Ranger. That would have been a nice kill to pick up. But sometimes the greed gets the better of you, and that's just how Dota goes.
It does look like the Wind Ranger's finally starting to catch up, though still considerably behind the rest of Dire's cores, but it looks like that Wind Ranger is starting to get a little farm, a little bit of item.
Yep, you see that the money is coming up, but again, the
Great
Storm
Icarus
Spirit
dive escape.
jumping out onto
Lightning
the
comes
Phoenix.
out.
It doesn't matter. He's got an Arcane Rune. He can dive as far as he wants. He comes in. He gets him once again with the Static Remnant and the Overload and the Electric Vortex. But it looks like the Radiant Tower is going to go ahead and pick that up. But the Storm Spirit being focus fired down with a beautiful shackle from Wind Ranger. Whew!
That must feel nice for that Wind Ranger.
That
And look at that, immediately jumps to the top of the Radiance network.
has to be cathartic, at the very least. Looking back over here now at the bottom lane, it looks like there is a track out here onto the Luna. Are they going to go in? It looks like the Bounty Hunter is considering it. He drops another track onto the Witch Doctor, but they have vision. It's sitting in the trees. He doesn't know that it's there.
Why did you turn Irish?
Shut up. I do that.
You do. Looks like Terrorblade finally got that level in Reflection.
Picks up an ultimate orb. He's building into that Manta style. We missed a kill over here. It looks like the Slardar once again got another kill onto
And
the
they're
Witch
chasing
Doctor.
on that. Oh, they're chasing right now. Good
The
rotation.
Phoenix
from
rotating in. The
Phoenix.
Crystal Maiden is in the back, but it's not close
Here
enough.
comes the egg.
The attack speed slow from the Phoenix is
Good
going to be
stun.
enough
Good
to
stun.
save it. It's not.
That's a big kill. That's a
The
good.
Phoenix dies again. The stun comes out onto the
Crystal
Luna. There's
Nova.
a slow and the track.
Is out.
Is anyone going to
Corrosive haze,
rotate?
and it's over. Great last hit for the Bounty Hunter.
Taking a look at the net worth here, we still have Dire with a clear 10k advantage. I have no idea how Radiant is going to pull this one back, but they're going to have to do something here. The Witch Doctor, he's greedy. He's looking for that kill onto that weak Crystal Maiden, but the Creeps is doing too much damage. He's got to back off.
Well, and it looks like that Terrorblade is completely taking over that jungle on Radiant's top.
Taking a look at some of the items on the Dragon Knight, he's only got Treads and a Soul Ring. It's not going to be enough to put him in the position where he wants to be.
He's working on his BKB. He wants that early.
He needs it. He needs it. The Storm Spirit's magic damage is too much to ignore. Looks
then
like the Terrorblade is farming nicely. He's already got his recipe for his Manta style. He's just waiting for that courier to respawn. An unfortunate death at the mid tower.
Meta is up.
Metamorphosis is ready. He could always make a play here. The Crystal Maiden diving a little too deep away from the tower. Without enemies, there's people moving in. The Phoenix is tracked. They see it coming. The Slardar is ready. He goes ahead and pops his ultimate off onto the Luna, I believe. Nope, onto
No,
the
it
Witch
looks
Doctor.
like it's on the Witch Doctor.
Now, Dragon Knight frontlining here. He's thinking about popping his ultimate. The
That
track
doesn't
comes out
attack.
onto him. There's a good cast. It hits the Crystal Maiden, but it bounces on the creeps too much.
Dragon form
The
is
Dragon
out.
form pops out. He's going in. He's rooted up, and everyone is there. It looks
Slithering
like
Crush.
the Slithering Crush plus
Feel
the Crystal Nova.
Good stun from the Witch Doctor.
It looks like he still wants this, but this DK, he's just going down.
Who cares about all that Dragon's Blood armor when it's just getting melted from that corrosive haze?
Now, the Storm Spirit, he has two illusions. He could use this very easily to make a dive here, and he's definitely thinking about it. We've got all of the Radiant team sitting behind this Tier 1 tower, very low, and there it goes. Everybody's jumping in. The Storm jumps in. He's got the Electric Vortex into the Static Remnant, and the Sunray comes out trying to do something, but there's just nothing to be had.
Oh, and the Luna sees that the Terrorblade is just farming top, hitting that tower.
Taking a look at the Crystal Maiden, she's playing very fast and loose. She's got those Tranquil Boots, though. 19.6 HP per second. It looks like she's going to go ahead and finish up her cape very shortly. She'll be able to jump into invisibility with her ultimates with that, and that is going to be big for her.
Looks like she's going back for a little
Taking
bit of that
a look down
regen.
here at the bottom lane, it looks like a Sunray has come
shackle.
out with a great shackle. The focus fire onto the Slardar. He can't make it away.
Here comes
but
Storm
in jumps
Spirit,
the Storm
Electric
Spirit.
Vortex.
He's got the Electric Vortex.
Egg is out.
The Orchid is onto her, but they can't take out the Phoenix Egg. It looks like they're going to have to run away. The Cat's out
Paralyzing
onto
Cat.
2 of them, but it doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to catch these 2. They try and get in with
Fire
Icarus
Spirits go out.
Dive, do just a little bit of damage with those Fire Spirits, but nothing more comes of it. They lost the off lane for the mid laner. It's another poor trade coming out here for the Radiant team. And here the Bounty Hunter is still down there, dropping out tracks. The Storm Spirit is thinking about going in. He makes a jump.
And he's going
He
in.
goes under the Witch Doctor in the back with the Orchid, the
That is
Electric Vortex.
Oh, great stun.
He's dead. It doesn't matter. The damage from the Orchid is coming out. And now he's turning on to the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight is running for his life. He's missing all of that armor that he gets from Dragon's Blood.
Great
due to
Sunray
the
coming out.
Ultimate from the Slardar. The Sunray is coming out. It's healing him up, plus the Dragon's Blood. It's just not enough to bring him down. And now the Slardar's in trouble.
Oh, they're turning this.
He's got the attack speed slow thrown out onto him from those Fire Spirits. Ticking down a little bit, but it looks like they're going to make it out just fine. Meanwhile, the Terrorblade still
Terrorblade
playing
just free farming.
PvE. Already
Just
has
free farming.
2 parts of his BKB and the Manta Style, Wraith Band. All of those items are ready to go. We have the Crystal Maiden free farming middle lane. We do see here that
Luna did just rotate
Wind
top.
Ranger is coming in now, dropping the focus fire. That is going to be
Looks like they
a
finally
dead
have the
Crystal
Maelstrom.
Maiden.
Oh, that Moonglaive
this-
doing some damage, some good harass there. That is one
I don't
fast
think that
Terrorblade.
anything is going to come of this rotation here. I think they're just securing some farm for the Luna. Level 11. She is almost half of the Terrorblade's net worth at this moment. Not ideal.
I mean,
and it
even
looks
with-
like the Storm Spirit goes in with another Orchid.
That's
onto
another free kill.
The Witch Doctor. He's going to be eating this hero all game. Talk about a snack.
I mean, even just look at that net worth. Their position 4, I mean, granted it's a bounty hunter who just gets money, who just gets gold. Their hard carry, who they were trying to create space for, is barely more farmed.
Yep, we have the Luna over here sitting at level 11, while the position 4 bounty hunter, level 12. This is
Echo Saber already have their Echo Saber working on their...
working on a Desolator. That is going to do a lot against the armor down here. Now, it looks like the Storm Spirit went on in on the Phoenix. There's just nothing they have to answer for this Storm Spirit. They don't have their BKBs yet. They don't have any sort of hard stun outside of the Shackle and the Dragon Knight's, what is that skill? Tail,
Dragon Tail.
Dragon Tail. That's what it's called. They're still holding on to this bottom tier 1 tower. I am honestly amazed.
Looks like it's probably going to go down soon. Like Bounty Hunter has their Blightstone.
They have their Blightstone. It's still not going to be enough to tick down this Dragon Knight. I mean, we're looking at 12 armor.
12 armor with 16 health.
Not to mention the extra armor from the tower. And it looks like the Dragon Tail is going to come out with the Sunray onto the Bounty Hunter. He's running for
Great
his
escape.
life. And he's going to make it away. Plus, the tower is going to fall to the catapult.
See, you know, I don't know how rude this is, but that's 2K. As someone who's probably in that MMR, not going after that catapult. That siege creep does so much damage.
It'll drop the tower. They needed to look for the deny if they weren't going to go in on the kill, but it doesn't look like the Phoenix knew he could move in the Sunray and keep it trained on the Bounty Hunter. Because of that, the Bounty Hunter gets away scot-free. Plus 100 gold to everyone on the Dire team.
And just, again, that Terrorblade just free farming. Just, that's so much money going to that Terrorblade. They're
Looking
getting
here at the top
huge.
lane, it looks like they're thinking about going in. There goes the Lucent Beam. Out comes the Paralyzing Cast. It's bouncing on the Terrorblade now. They got the Maledict out onto him, plus the Fire Spirits.
Looks it.
He's running.
Oh,
He's got
pops
the
the
BKB,
BKB.
out, and he
Oh,
tries to
couldn't
go
get
for
the
the
Sunder.
Sunder, but just couldn't get it off in time. That is a lot of gold swinging over to the Radiant team. Over here in the mid lane, it looks like the Storm Spirit has dropped down.
And it looks like they ran. Looks like they tried to go on that Wind Ranger.
He's got a haste run active. He's just going to go ahead and back off here. The Bounty Hunter is thinking about it, but they've got a sentry down here. He needs to be careful. The Dragon Knight makes a rotation in here too. We've got all 5 of Radiant's heroes sitting here in the mid lane, just waiting for something to happen. I don't think they have vision here. They do. They see the Bounty Hunter. He's coming in. You've got the Witch Doctor. He's thinking about it.
Good Roche wards up.
Nothing happens here. There's more wards down. Out comes the Shackle, Losing Beam, Paralyzing Cask with the Maledict and the Witch Doctor ulti. That is going to be a dead bounty hunter.
I mean, it's good that, it's good that they did get that kill on that bounty hunter, but I think, obviously they can't necessarily always control it, but I think that Witch Doctor getting that last hit could have let one of your cores have it. They are playing from behind. That is a position 5 Witch Doctor. Unless they're going to go for some big team fight item, it was better off going to their core.
But at this stage in the game, they got to take what they can get. They
That's
have
true.
no idea where the enemy team is hiding. Storm Spirit could jump in at any second from long range. And in fact, he thinks about it, but he really just pops by. He's got his Bloodstone Orchid treads up right now and an Arcane Rune. This is going to be a kill here.
They don't have buyback.
He
they
sees
just
them
bought out
down
for
here
that
in the
blood.
jungle. There's that beautiful ward. He goes on to the Witch Doctor with the Orchid. Free money.
Great kill.
Eat well.
Subway, eat fresh. That's Storm Spirit right there.
Meanwhile, he's moving over to the middle lane. He's going to protect up his Crystal Maiden, and the Terrorblade just returns to the top lane. But the Luna gets the deny on the tower.
Meta is out.
Popped, and the Reflection. He's trying to chase her down, but she's too fast. He won't be able to catch up. Meanwhile, in the meantime, it looks like the Phoenix gets picked off by that Arcane Rune Storm Spirit once again. Looking over here at the mid lane, they're getting ready to defend this tier 2 tower, but the Dragon Knight and the Wind Ranger are both backing off. They're playing it safe. The Storm Spirit, he does too much damage. He's worth 12.6k gold, 25 minutes.
Oh, and here comes that big bad Terrorblade. Meta is popped.
They're just going to take this tower, no
Easy.
contest. They can't defend without all 5 heroes. All ultimates are up on the Radiant side. They're just waiting for the Dire to make a misplay.
Meta is down, but that Terrorblade still does have BKB charge going, 9 seconds, I think. That was a great fight earlier that they managed to waste that BKB charge.
Now, up here in the top lane, we have only the Terrorblade and the Crystal Maiden. Storm Spirit lacking somewhat behind. He's just waiting to jump in here. Makes his way over to the Secret Shop. Let's see what he picked up here. He bought a Perseverance. He's picking up some...
They're building a Lincoln's.
Now, he's going in on a Luna. The Orchid comes out, but
no
she's
mana.
too tanky. He can't take her down. The Shackle
that's
comes
a big
in.
stun.
It doesn't matter. He's got the mana to get out. He makes a big jump. Look at that mana regeneration
That's
coming
absurd.
out there from the Bloodstone and the bottle.
Whew. That's a good escape from there. That's huge. If they
Looking over here at the Witch Doctor, caught out again by that Dire Ward. Which
and getting some track gold.
The Shackle comes out, but it's far too late. Just none of the heroes are there to follow up. The Crystal Maiden is making sure that the lane is pushed here with the Bounty Hunter. They're putting pressure on all of the lanes. And even down here at the bottom, we have Slardar making sure this tier 2 is ready to go down.
And that Dire lead just keeps growing. That's a 23k net worth lead. All of Dire's cores are above 10k. No one is sniffing that on Radiant.
Well, we actually do have the Wind Ranger here sitting fairly close to the Slardar still. I'm impressed that she's been able to keep her farm up this game. She does have an Orchid now. Now, that is going to be a big pick for the Storm Spirit here. He doesn't have a BKB or a Lincoln's. If a Silence gets thrown out onto him, he can't do anything. He is somewhat tanky, and he's making a jump.
He's diving
here.
in.
Oh, just getting some of that farm, making sure he stays on top of the food chain here. Down here at the bottom lane, we do see the Wind Ranger, and the Storm Spirit is thinking about it. He's going in.
The Silence Orchid comes out.
The Static Remnant, the Electric Vortex, and the Orchid comes back out in return. She wind runs. She runs away. But the Storm Spirit, he doesn't care. He's going in with another wonderful ball lightning.
Look at that Shackle. Oh.
There's no way she makes it out of this one. The Sunray pops, but it is far too late. Wonderful fight coming out here.
Game is hard. Game is hard.
Storm Spirit having the game of his life. Taking a look at some of these kills, deaths, assists. We're at 15, 1, and 1. That is massive.
That Luna has almost as many deaths as she has assists. 0 kills. And now we see here that Dragon Knight, that offlaner, has fallen behind in net worth, behind the position 5. And like what I was saying earlier about this Terrorblade, they were just letting him free farm. And
nobody's coming out to stop this. He's buying himself. The cast comes out. It reveals which one is the real one. Dragon Knight pops his dragon form, but it doesn't matter.
He's just leaving. Looks like Meta is about to come down, though. Nope, Meta's still up.
Taking a look out here, it looks like the Dragon Knight is actually going to engage
Reflection
this
comes out.
metamorphosed Terrorblade. There's a Sunray going down in the middle lane, and it looks like the Phoenix is going to pop his ultimate, but there's nobody there. Looking up here at the top lane, it looks like the Luna is still engaging on the BKB popped.
The Sunder
comes out, but she's going to wind run away.
Wind run?
She's going to make it away just fine. That is a BKB popped from the Terrorblade. It's getting shorter and shorter as the time goes on. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they're taking this tower like it's nobody's business.
They're just swarming the Radiant base right now.
Taking a look at the Slardar, he too has an Echo Saber Blink Dagger, and it looks like he's now building into an Assault Curious. Looking over at the Bounty Hunter, he's got enough money to finish up his Desolator if he wants, but he seems to be saving and holding on for some buyback. And we're getting to that stage of the game where buyback is going to start to be real important.
Absolutely. Wasting buybacks at this point could absolutely lose you the game.
Especially when you're playing against a Luna. Luna takes towers and bases so fast.
Luna BKB online.
All right, the BKB comes out from Luna. She now has an effective way to fight the Storm Spirit. Mind you, he will likely just back off, but she can't kill her anymore. Not whenever he wants.
And a butterfly in response from the T-Blade.
Now we're looking down here at the Radiant base. It looks like they're still preparing for the high ground, not trying to budge an inch down here. Terrorblade is just going to throw illusions at the barracks and see what he can get done.
Meta is up in 20 seconds.
Daytime pops, and it looks like we're going for some of the bounty runes here.
Securing a little bit more farm.
We're just going to reset, make sure everything's good. I'm kind of surprised that the Dire team hasn't gone for Roche yet. They could really use an Aegis on that Storm Spirit. It would be...
Looks like Radiant is scanning to see if they're Roshing.
Odd, in my opinion, but that's fine.
I would say they have some vision, some detection up there, but...
Phoenix picking up the double bracers just to try and be a bit more tanky. These stat items sitting on him give him a little bit more HP and a little bit more armor, trying to defend himself against the onslaught of this Storm Spirit. Meanwhile, Terrorblade is pushing this lane by himself. Nobody's going in on him. They're afraid of the Sunder. They're afraid of the Metamorphosis.
And then, worst case, he popped BKB, purge off that silence.
We do seem to have some action coming in here. The Paralyzing Cast thrown out onto the
Moonblade's
Terrorblade. Metamorphosis popped. He's just going to stand there, take the Sunray like a bitch. He doesn't give a shit. He's hitting down this Phoenix. The Phoenix has to Icarus dive away. But in the meantime, he's going to die. He dies to the last click. It chases him, and he goes ahead and takes a melee barracks. He goes for the Sunder, but he dies to the focus fire from the Wind Ranger. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, still pushing into the base, we have this Crystal Maiden. She's sitting too far forward. There is no allies
Nova
near
goes
her.
out.
And there goes the Lucent Beam, but the Paralyzing Cask is too far away.
That's a good route.
She goes ahead and roots the Luna up and just blinks away. That is a Blink Dagger on your Crystal Maiden. It comes in a little late at 31 minutes, but that doesn't matter to her. This game is solidly in the hands of the Dire team at 31.
Just keeps building.
Lead.
I'm struggling to think, short of Dire throwing completely, how in the world Radiant is going to come back to this. Make enough space for that Luna to just become an absolute raid boss? The OG strat with Miracle?
Well,
who knows?
I think how they win this right now, they need to get a good shackle out onto the Storm Spirit. And it's got to be followed with a Focus Fire, now with a Chrysalis and the Maelstrom on this Wind Ranger. But she needs to not get hit by the Orchid on the Storm. He's jumping on her in every fight. He knows she's the issue. And he's punishing her for it.
Storm almost has his Lincolns. Once he gets that Lincolns, he's going to be a nightmare to deal with. That Orchid is going to get completely annihilated.
They barely have anything on the Radiant team really to deal with this. We're looking at hard stuns from Dragon Tail, slight mini stun from Lucent Beam. We're looking at an inaccurate stun from the Paralyzing Cask. And that's it. We just need the shackle
is
and
now
Orchid.
Roshing.
They're going in on this Roche. It should fall relatively quickly. They do have the Corrosive Haze coming out from the Slardar. It's melting his armor, and he falls quickly,
that terribly
easily.
Picking up that Aegis.
Done. It looks like Terrorblade now building a Scotty. It calls for the Phoenix trying to end the game. Storm Spirit now sitting here pretty.
Just securing a little bit more farm.
Has the Lincolns flying in. Over here, we do see them knocking down the tower. Dragon Tail comes out. There is a lot of fighting happening around the Phoenix, who is rooted up. Tries to go for the Icarus dive away, but doesn't make it. The Witch Doctor falling. The Crystal Maiden, however, in the back line drops her ultimate, but dies. However,
that Terrorblade is low.
Everyone else is falling easily. The Storm Spirit going for the fountain
Diving
dive.
in fountain.
Say it isn't so.
Dire Courier is dead again, and it looks like...
There goes the Lincoln Sphere for the Storm Spirit, sundered up by his teammate. It doesn't matter. He has a Bloodstone. He has a bottle. He'll live, but the buybacks are coming out. We do have the Dragon Knight dropping a stun onto the Terrorblade. He doesn't have Sunder. He just used it. He's dropping Metamorphosis, but he can't attack. He's stunned up. The Maledict is on him, but he has the Aegis. The Phoenix pops, but nobody's there to be hit.
On that.
Metamorphosis has already been popped. It doesn't matter. He runs away.
That's Megas.
No, they don't have Megas. There's still a lane here.
Oh.
He just walks away like nothing happened. Goes back to farming. He popped that Metamorphosis a little bit early. He should have saved it for when his Aegis was popped, but sometimes it just happens that way. They are not going to give up a single Tier 1 tower to this Radiant team.
Oh, man. I can't think of any way Radiant can bring this back. It looks like the Phoenix just wants it to end. They want this over with.
And we have the Bounty Hunter here leading the push on the bottom lane. For whatever reason, the Terrorblade's still farming. He wants that Scotty. He's going to pick it up now. Boom.
He's got that Scotty.
Obtained no buyback, though. Very dangerous play. 40k advantage, however, to the Dire team. They think, we got this. There's not a single chance in hell that they can repel this attack. Storm Spirit sitting very close.
They're all just moving bottom right now.
Moving in for 25. That is going to be a big one. What do you think? They're going to go for the Overload or the Auto Remnant?
That's an Auto Remnant if I've ever seen one.
Terrorblade going in, standing up there, just putting illusions out. The Witch Doctor ulti comes out. The Storm Spirit jumps into the back, kills the Witch Doctor. No problem.
And this is Megas.
And Megas are going to come out.
And that's a big GG coming from the Witch
Called
Doctor.
from the Witch Doctor. The Phoenix, unrated
Phoenix
to give
is trying.
Drops the Sunray, but it doesn't matter. The Dragon Knight is dead. They're hitting the egg. It dies. All that's left is the Luna and the Wind Ranger. Can they make any sort of defense?
That Luna's not doing anything. That Wind Ranger's trying. They've got that Orchid or that Chrysalis.
More fountain dives from the Storm Spirit, and
the Sunder
comes out just in case.
48k net worth lead. That's quite the shit stomp.
That is, you know, I'm not going to say that I told you so, but I will say that we predicted this very early on.
Very early on.
Very early on.
That net worth advantage on the most farmed hero on the Radiant was barely more farmed than the position 5 support.
It was very close to beating every single hero on the Radiant team. It's an unfortunate event for them, but that is Dota 2. Thank you for tuning into the BiasCast. Dire lives on. Victory forever. Good night, everybody.
Consume Arby's.